And that brings us to another live service game, which is low-key kind of struggling. The Dusk Bloods, their network test, their beta test is currently going on the Switch 2. This game apparently is real. Is it coming out this year? I don't know. If you're not familiar with the Dusk Bloods, it is the new IP from the makers of Elden Ring from Software, but it is exclusive to the Switch 2. It's some type of PvPvE game, so you're playing against real people as well as AI. But up until this point, nobody really knew what it was or what the game mode is, but we now have some previews of it. But before we get into the previews, just know that the reason I said that it's struggling is because a lot of people are having trouble getting on the servers. And it's so bad that From Software sincerely apologized for the Dusk Bloods network test server issues as the first slot ends. From Software has announced the Dusk Bloods network test has reached an early end after the first day of testing resulted in game server issues that barred players from logging in. This makes me think this game is not coming out this year, especially because I'm not gonna lie, they should have did beta tests months ago. Anybody know anything about Nintendo? They know they fucking the Nintendo Network. Yo, shout out to Eastward Flea with the sub. The Nintendo Network servers are held together with bubblegum, toothpaste, paper clips, scotch tape, and hope. That's what it's. Matter of fact, them niggas at Nintendo, the Nintendo Network is held together with the power of friendship. Them niggas at Nintendo be wrapping around, they be wrapping all the employees around the fucking computer servers, holding hands, hoping the servers hold together and shit like that. It's just all a prayer, man. This shit is not real. I mean, look at what's the shit? Smash Bros Online, one of the most laggy. Nintendo makes great games, but their service is just fucking ass when it comes to the online. Just a laggy mess. So it doesn't surprise me that they're having issues, especially because this is coming from the developers of Elden Ring. This is a new IP. A lot of people probably went out and bought Switches too, and it's probably the only game worth playing online for the Switch. Of course, the network was getting hard. They should have been way more prepared. But anyways, the Dark Souls developer, bloody new PvPvE Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive action game was originally set to come to a limited number of players today as part of the weekend's worth of closed tests. The early sign-up period had fans clamoring for codes, but when the test began, it quickly became clear that most will have to wait to get their hands on the Duskbloods. The first of 5 early gameplay periods kick off today, August 21st, the 26th at 3 a.m. PST, just random times. That's supposed to be what happened. And I think that's what's crazy. These network tests at 3 in the morning, 6 in the morning and shit, the server still can't handle it. Instead, most players spent their time on social media sharing pictures of the Duskbloods title screen. Failed to log into the Duskbloods game server, the error message read by many today. Select OK to attempt to log in. Look at this. Look at this. People woke up early in the morning to do this shit. The purpose of the network test is to stress test it. It's good they did it. They just did it too late. Yeah, that's why it's not good. That's why I said, like, this game is supposed to come out this year. It still doesn't have a release date. That's why I said I don't think it's coming out this year. They should have did this 6 months ago, like a proper stress test. And then I'd also argue, is it really a network stress test if when the network test launches, nobody can get on the servers? An actual stress test would be, you know, a bunch of people get on and then it starts fucking up, right? But if nobody can get on, that's not a stress test. That's a it don't work test. Nah. As much as I love From Software, they got to get this work too, bro. It's lazy. It's fucking lazy. The upside is that, yes, the Duskbloods network test was a resounding success, but only because it proved that there was much more testing to be done. From Software acknowledged the hangups with the message on Twitter saying that we sincerely apologize for inconvenience. And to be fair, if you follow this stream, I predicted this was going to happen, bro. I said, as much as I love this company, this is a different type of game for them. This is a live service game, and they don't have experience with that outside of maybe Night Rain. And Night Rain wasn't that big of a live service game because they stopped. It wasn't even live service. They supported it for like 6 months with like free content, and then they did it. The game's done. So this is their first real live, and they don't have experience. Their experience is building single player narrative RPGs. So like it opens them up to failure when they try something like this. Yo, shout out to Minish Cap with the sub. So that's why I think, in my opinion, they should have been testing this 6 months ago. But anyways, The message to fans also notified them the first test has been closed, but before its originally planned time. For now, the schedule posted on its website has additional tests scheduled throughout the weekend, including one later today, one tomorrow, and 2 through Sunday. It's unclear if the remaining times have been impacted with the studio's message on social media, meanwhile promising to work on improving the servers and unannounced future schedules at a later date. So they will be doing more, at least. But I ain't gonna lie. Go ahead and push this back to 2027 if y'all can't get it together ASAP. Oh yeah, it's like a company doing a fraud audit. Congrats, fraud testing work. Your company's been caught frauding. This game's been in development since 2021. It was originally meant for the Switch One. Yeah, like a proper network test would be like they let 1 million people on the server at once, and like from 1 to 500,000 people on the server, it was fine. And then when we got to 600,000, you know, shit started choking. But if everybody tried to log in at once and nobody can log in, that's not a successful network test. That is a successful we don't work test. That being said, even though they're struggling, I don't know what this game's about. I've been saving to react to this video on stream. Let's see what the fuck the Dusk Bloods is about. Hit the like button if you're watching on YouTube.
From Software isn't new to multiplayer. Invasions have
Shout out to my guy Mike.
been a staple in the Souls games, and we just came off of Elden Ring's co-op twist with Night Rain. But the Dusk Bloods is something very different and new territory for the team. And to simply label it,
yo nigga, you gotta say pause after that. This nigga in the chat said they could just be testing loads. You said it was too big of a load for them? Whoa.
as a PvP game is to really undersell what it is.
Nah, I got you. I'm just fucking with you.
Packaged in phase-based matches where 8 players compete for what are essentially victory points on a map in order to advance to subsequent phases, which includes in a 3-player PvP brawl.
I will say the game looks better than what I thought it would be. Like for like a Switch 2 game, it looks decent. The art does remind me a lot of Elden Ring.
I got to play about 8 hours of the Duskbloods on a visit to From Software in Tokyo, and while there are a ton of nuances I'll dissect in this preview,
that's a nasty looking creature.
It has the makings of another hit in the Souls lineage, where fun is found in the challenge and the mysteries of its world propel you to keep
average Cleveland frog.
Now, in the context of a
these niggas at FromSoft is nasty. Not only did they give the frog multiple tongues, why did they give the frog a set of titties? These niggas is nasty, right?
Competitive multiplayer switch to
big titty frog bitch.
Pull off such a wild idea. It'd be director Hidetaka Miyazaki.
Freaky ass frog.
Buckle up, y'all. The Duskbloods just might be the most complex and most fascinating project to come out of From Software yet.
Oh shit, he said it's complex. That automatically eliminates more than 60% of the gaming audience because, friendly reminder, a lot of people hated Highguard because they couldn't even get out the fucking, this tutorial too hard. If you can't read and write, just go ahead and close your ears for the next 14 minutes.
The build I played alongside other media and content creators is the same as the network test, and all.
Okay, you got like a quadruple jump. Okay, that's a little saucy.
Software, since we were not permitted to record our own. You'll notice the UI is removed and that there are specific features I'm not able to show.
I ain't gonna lie, chat. I'm gonna be pausing this a lot. That's kind of a red flag. I don't know if y'all caught what he said. This is not his gameplay. He said they were not allowed to record their gameplay, meaning that they went to the event, they played the game, and then, and I've had this happen to me before. What happens is the developer will email you footage that they want you to show. That's always a red flag. I ain't gonna lie.
So I'll need to lay some groundwork since the Duskbloods has a lot of moving parts. This is a multiplayer-only Switch 2 game, and 8 players queue into a match as one of the several characters known as the Bloodsworn, each of which have their own weapons, ranged attacks, and special abilities. Every match has 3 phases that last about 8 minutes each, where you must earn virtue points to survive the culling. While everyone makes it past Phase 1, the bottom 2 players are eliminated after Phase 2, and the bottom 3 are gone after Phase 3.
So it's like a BR sort of.
3 players who are then transported to a closed-off combat arena under a blood-red sky to duke it out in the finale called the Moonblood Bestowal.
This reminds me of Elden Ring's Coliseum, just like in a new arena, but it reminds me a lot of the Coliseum. So basically, you have to go through the first 2 rounds are like objective based, and if you get to the third one, it's a straight up just duke it out.
A full match can last about 30 minutes, but when all 4 parts are varied and feel like an intense race against the clock and other players, it's easy to lock in and stay focused as every moment counts. Now, how do you earn virtue points? There are commendations that award points to the players with the most PvE enemy kills, called Bloodfang Virtue, and or the most items collected, called Collector Virtue.
Okay, so you're farming and collecting items.
Since points will be awarded and taken away based on how you stack against others, but these stats are never displayed. There's also Flame Virtue, which are these collectible purple embers you'll see on thrones of skeletons found in specific regions of the map. The region where these spawn is randomized in each phase, but their locations within that region seem to be similar.
I like the verticality.
Virtue is given when killing powerful enemies called Trespassers, which you can do alongside other players, and these are marked on your map. They vary in difficulty and they can take a long time to defeat, and they may not be the best use of your time early on in a match.
So the vibe I'm getting is the first 2 rounds is about killing as many enemies as possible, and obviously if you kill bosses on the map, that'll give you probably better perks before you can get to the 3rd round.
Each Bloodsworn also has what's called a sigil, which is a unique objective for that character, and completing it rewards virtue points, but more on that later. Lastly, my favorite method of earning virtue is through what are called rituals, because this is where
they got Gundams in this shit? What the fuck? Well, no, that's not a gun. That's the Ironmonger. That's who that is.
In the
Tony Stark built this in a cave with a group of scrap of parts.
Will be outlined in gold, signifying the ritual site, with 4 or 5 capture points marked within that boundary, turning the match into a sort of King of the Hill style game. Capturing a point rewards you with Pledge Virtue, however you have to hold the action button for about 10 seconds to capture it, thus leaving you vulnerable to other players and enemies who might be barreling down on you. Furthermore, other players can steal your capture point, which then takes away your virtue and gives it to them. I love swooping in to capture a point right when they...
So it's not only collecting items and killing bosses and enemies, but it's a little bit of capture the flag. So what's gonna stop people from teaming up and just fucking robbing you the entire time? I feel like that would piss me the fuck off.
Open and hoping no one else contests it, but the tension goes crazy when I have to hold onto and defend my point. And this is where the PvP component really matters. Only inside ritual sites can you earn Sword Virtue, which rewards you for killing other players. It truly turns into a PvP zone when you're trying to capture points, defend them, and fight other players, but the virtue you gain can stack quickly.
It's looking like a soul extraction game, pretty much.
The element of surprise
it's pretty simple to understand.
Getting the jump on players by using your map knowledge and your Bloodsword's abilities effectively will make quick work of them, and the push and pull dynamic this creates is absolutely thrilling. It's worth noting that you'll keep respawning in matches, so dying doesn't mean elimination, and you're not obligated to participate in rituals since it's more like a map event.
Gotcha. So you're not eliminated till the round is over.
Soul sickos, the risk is so compelling.
This might capture the ball and gun gamers.
To look out for
nah, because although it's not complicated to us, it's probably complicated to them. The guy I watched said there were different modes where one is solo and another is solo with allegiances, meaning you can team with other players. So it can be turned off. Gotcha.
Which are items that spawn around the ritual site. These will boost the virtue gained from capturing points and killing other players, respectively. Phases 2 and 3 may also get randomized map events to shake things up. One I kept getting allowed me to call in airstrikes from a Zeppelin that lingers up in the sky, which can decimate anything within range, including yourself. It's definitely handy for keeping folks away from my precious ritual spots.
Jeez.
But some are opportunities to earn more virtue, like one that rewards the first player to ring the bell atop the tower.
I like the verticality in this preview.
I was able to do this before anyone else by finding clever ways of climbing up the tower, and it was chaos having 5 or so other players
He said kill streaks
on the way up and taking pot shots at each other. So I was able to consistently make it to the finale since I grasped the virtue system quickly, but the 3-player PvP brawl here at the end taps into a whole different skill set, and almost had us moving like it was a fighting game or one of those 3D arena brawlers. It can be overwhelming if you don't know how to manage the chaos though. There isn't as much room for trickery in this closed arena, so it's more about reading your opponents and really understanding what their specific Bloodsworn is capable of while keeping your head on a swivel, especially when everyone has a summoned NPC companion to fight alongside them.
Man, I'm gonna be dodging the whole time, so it's 1v1.
There are opportunities to make a comeback, but if you can't hang with the speed and demand of head-to-head PvP, it can be rough going. That's the Soul Style challenge, but damn is it rewarding when you can pull it off in the end.
Is this enough to make you buy a Switch 2? I feel like this has potential based off the way he's explaining the game mode, but like I gotta see reviews because what's the longevity or how addicting is the formula, right? I was under the impression this was gonna have like some type of story element, but this is just straight up like multiplayer. I would have to wait for the reviews. I'm not gonna lie.
Let me take a step back for a moment because there's a lot more that goes into pursuing virtue points and getting combat ready.
Then I would be especially pissed off if like this gets like a 7.5, an 8 out of 10. I go out, buy a Switch 2 for it. I'm tired of it like after a month, and then they announce like the PC and the console version. That shit would piss me the fuck off, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Like I wonder if this is truly gonna be exclusive or is this a timed exclusive?
You have to level up in match to get strong.
Because you know that PC version gonna look and run better.
And build out your Bloodsworn's capabilities.
I think that'll happen. My gut tells me I could see this coming to other platforms.
So it's important to stay active at every second. You can gain XP fairly quickly and end up around level 17 or 20 by the final phase, but you gotta be grinding. Each Bloodsworn gains a new special ability at level 12 as well, and these are so important to have in tough battles. For example, my favorite Bloodsworn, Lan, has a cloaking ability to start, but at level 12 she can then summon a massive snake to direct heavy AoE damage and knockback. Meanwhile, the noble skeleton Senator Samir Patris can transform into a
dinosaur. What the hell?
Targets, chews them up, and tosses them aside, which became an early favorite during the preview. We had access to 6 Bloodsworn, and 10 are planned for the full release, and they were all distinct enough to form a unique approach. Sniper Layla has
so you need to know the
course,
matchup.
but she emphasizes long-range shots, as her name would imply, and almost plays like it's a third-person shooter.
Nintendo came out their pocket for this. They cuffing Mario.
Sports an axe and mage-like fire spells. However, I can't tell y'all how many times the armor-clad chicken man named Zork knocked me on my ass with his jetpack rushdown. Yeah, I'm beefing with my roommate Blessing Adeoye Jr. from Kinda Funny, who was maining Zork at this preview event. But that's part of learning how to play the Duskbloods. It's about understanding movesets and knowing how to counter what you're up against when it comes time for PvP. Furthermore, these characters have their own sigils you can activate before.
They made fan art of the classes on Twitter. Also, they fucking with it. Then
unique to them. For example, Lan's sigil makes you seek out a certain player as a target, and the Senator lets you propose to another player in hopes they'll accept. This is one area that director Hidetaka Miyazaki told me he's paying attention to with regards to player reception, as these are one of the wild cards that can affect the typical cadence of a match. As far as gameplay feel, it's comparable to, say, Bloodborne or Night Rain, but not quite Sekiro in terms of speed. You have a normal and heavy attack, a projectile, a block, a parry,
Bloodborne fans,
block, and a sonic howl that will stagger.
This might be for you.
Execute it in the parry window. You can then bite the neck of staggered enemies, which causes big damage and heals you. And when done to weaker enemies, this will turn them into minions who follow you around the map and fight for you. More importantly, NPC companions called kin are one of the biggest keys to success in the Duskbloods. You'll find glowing symbols across the map to summon kin,
Mario Party souls. It really is.
They can either fight alongside you or provide support. They level up independently and are another way to create.
At bare minimum, I will say this is creative.
If they die, they'll go on cooldown before being.
It's creative. I just don't know if the Nintendo audience will appreciate this. And that's why I'm like, I feel like maybe if we wait, this probably would come to console and PC. I don't know.
Being able to return to the field, but make sure they're always present. While there will be 3 maps at launch, we only got to play one map called Luanro City, and it evokes a bit of the grim Victorian vibe of Bloodborne, especially as it gets deeper into the night with each passing phase. So
the scale is actually impressive.
The general area to spawn into, and then you'll get a random spot within it.
Multiplayer only, correct.
Swamps, a towering cathedral, dirty city streets.
Correct, because that's another problem too. It's exclusive to the Switch too, and the gameplay could be super addicting. But another issue is them Nintendo servers, bruh. I don't know if it can hold up for this shit.
Crowded rooftops, poisonous sewers, and a bridge that runs through the middle of the map. These all make up the interconnected regions. Markers on the map indicate which of these regions have which perks during the.
That's why I would say that's the real reason I would say wait to because if you're thinking about getting a Switch 2 for this, I'm still gonna wait to see what the reviews say. What's the online looking like? Because that's another thing. I'm gonna be very pissed off if I buy a Switch 2 and I cannot get online, bro.
It's our bonus kin XP, for example.
I gotta wait for a review.
But getting to and from these hotspots efficiently is such an important key to success. Even after about 8 hours of game time, I was still discovering the intricacies of the map and formulating new tactics, just as I thought it was starting to get repetitive. If the first map is this dense, I'm hyped to see what the others can offer. Verticality is very much a highlight in the Duskbloods.
I like that.
No, you don't get a double jump or a triple jump, but a quadruple jump and an air dash along with it. And you can charge up that first jump to fly into the air. Along with infinite sprint, this movement system makes things feel fast-paced and match the hustle required once the clock starts ticking. Hopping across rooftops, boosting up floors above, and well, air dashing isn't exactly what you would expect from a Soul-style game, but it works well for navigating such a varied map very quickly. Part of me wants to say this plays closer to a character action game like Devil May Cry at times, especially when PvP battles start to break out and you could bust out a lot of these moves.
Sucking them up.
This brings me to my main complaint with the Duskbloods though, the lock-on targeting system. Souls games haven't always
Shout out to Machine with the super chat.
Targeting, and those issues are exacerbated with the speed of this game and with the frenetic movement of actual human players. The camera
if either game goes multiplat, which goes first, Duskbloods or E-Day?
And it sometimes just doesn't
Duskbloods.
Enemies in the field.
Microsoft can't be pivoting back and forth.
It's sort of an impossible task with this particular style of action game, but I hope there will be improvements with smarter camera behavior or just
So are they done with all the Night Rain content? I believe so.
Are flying all over the place. This won't apply to every scenario, but one tactic I began using was to just try keeping everything in front of me to mitigate the limitations of the camera and lock-on system. Perhaps the co-op...
I wonder if Nintendo wanted a game from Software to seem more mature as a platform.
Off too. When facing
yeah, they always have games like that. Like people forget that they did that with Resident Evil 4. Like they'll do it every once in a while, yeah.
You can temporarily link up with other players to split the work, and all participants get virtue points if the group defeats it. You can also form an alliance.
Stream, but wanted to stop by, show some love before you go full degen and really start no-lifing Mortal Shell 2 and forget to stream ever again.
I appreciate the super chat and the words, Drips, because you damn right I will be no life in that shit. 1 second, y'all.
And this adds another dynamic because some players might not even know that you're teamed up with somebody. Of course, if you make it to the final phase, the alliance breaks and you still have to duke it out. There's also a queue for duos matches where 2 players share the virtue points.
Right.
The difference being that in that final phase, it's the 2 best teams who go into a 2v2 fight for victory. So the Duskbloods doesn't always have to be a lonely endeavor.
Miyazaki approached Nintendo himself.
That board games and tabletop RPGs
They were the only ones who would fund the project. Oh yeah, it's gonna be a Nintendo exclusive then.
Coming up with the rules and mechanics for the Duskbloods. Thankfully, there's a lengthy tutorial that
he begged Nintendo and they cut the check. Yeah, this is a Switch 2 exclusive.
Game he's worked on, but like a good board game, once you grasp the rules and get enough reps,
which is actually very fascinating. I can understand it for the other games because like Dark Souls 1 to 3 were niche games. Bloodborne 2, I know y'all don't want to hear that, but those were niche games. Elden Ring was their crossover game. So like I'm surprised after Elden Ring, Miyazaki still has to beg for funding on a game. Like I like what else do you have to prove after you sold like 50 million copies of a fucking game?
Matches will start to flow naturally.
That sucks.
This is just a network test, meaning it's a small portion of what will be available on launch. From Software doesn't have a release date or even a release window yet, and it seemed like Miyazaki and the team are still working out the game's features while looking at the network test as a way to finally get player feedback for adjustments. In our conversation, he emphasized character customization and different options that can change the way you approach matches if you don't exactly love the PvP aspect, so you can still work toward unlocking additional features for characters and story content back at the hub area called the House of Night. These things aren't in place quite yet, but it's good to know that it is a point of emphasis. I asked him if he's concerned about a skill gap growing as.
But can you make a live service game that monetizes for a decade?
Yeah. Miyazaki said matchmaking will account for skill level, but the team is also working on systems to incentivize veteran players to assist newcomers and for ways to make the early game feel more welcoming.
Question is, will those tools actually be used and will they be embraced by the community? Because people are pieces of shit online. I mean, even when I was playing Elden Ring, like I remember I beat Elden Ring and then like 2 years later, my girl like wanted to play it and like. I was helping her in the co-op and niggas was just constantly invading our games, bro. So like, although it's a nice gesture, I don't know if people will actually use these features to help welcome newcomers in. People like playing these games so they can shit on other people. Otherwise, why are you up at fucking 2 in the morning invading my fucking game, bitch ass nigga?
He said story cutscenes and progression won't be so reliant on winning matches either, so making it to the final phase and focusing more on the PvE aspects will still be rewarding. However, if you are a PvP fiend, he hinted at an invasion-style option where you can be a 9th player dropping into an ongoing match to simply fight other players. And perhaps that'll be another one of those curveballs From Software likes throwing into its games.
You show up as one of the bosses in the world. That'd be cool.
Duskbloods is clearly built for those who crave discovery, enjoy the unexpected nature of From Software's work, and the sort of meta you'd see in a fight.
It was conceived 2020ish before Elden Ring. Ah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because it was supposed to be a Switch 1 game. Yeah.
Maintain an audience for a fairly complex game on Switch 2. Miyazaki didn't seem too concerned though, saying
what up, General
that
Spliff?
He himself is not that great at action games, he wanted to build something that he would enjoy regardless. And I suppose that's all you can do in a time where multiplayer games struggle to find their footing. FromSoft has the chops, and I can't wait to see what the Duskbloods becomes when it actually comes out. For more on upcoming Switch exclusives, check out our preview for Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave and the discussions on our weekly podcast, Nintendo Voice.
I don't want to put words in Mike's mouth, but the vibe I got is he likes it, but he's not 100% sold. That's what he said at the end. I can't wait to see more of what it becomes. Like, he likes it, but he's still taking like a cautiously optimistic approach. That's kind of how I feel too. Like, I still want to, I'm not 100% sold on it. I don't know if this is a reason to buy a Switch 2 for. I want to see how the servers act and if how addicting is the actual formula, you know? Still no voice chat though, so you can't run with randoms. I don't think I would play randoms on this game anyway. I'd be in Discord with friends or like people in the community who have it. But it looks alright. It looks alright. It looks alright. It has potential. I think it has potential. Performance and online connectivity is going to be major. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh yeah, and that's just them apologizing once again for the online connectivity. Let me see if there's anything in the sub box before we start No Life in This Mortal show. Let me switch to my main account. You're running solo anyway. There's no team mode. The next playtest is in 2 hours. I ain't got no fucking Switch 2. Okay. Let's see sub box. Call of Duty next. What's the word? What the streets saying about Modern Warfare 4? I know the beta's out. Are people liking it? Siggy's running that Mortal Shell 2. This thumbnail is crazy. This thumbnail is fucking crazy, homeless. Books and Blood. Official announcement trailer. Connectivity. I couldn't even connect earlier. Yeah, that's what you're saying. Like, they better get it together. They could rub a lot of people the wrong way if the game ain't working. Get it together. Get it together. Lego One Piece official trailer. Is this a game? Oh, like she not even using the caked up shell for real. Just using it for the thumbnail. What's this right here? Shout out to Treason with the super chat.
For someone looking forward to GTA 6 myself, I feel insane seeing everyone on Twitter talking about the leaks look like the best game ever. We saw nothing LMFAO.
And you know, I appreciate you being reasonable too. Like, I agree. Like, all we've seen is this dude fight a police officer with his hands in like a knife. He shot a basketball, which looked really janky, by the way, and then driving around. I'm like, bro, that was in GTA 5. Like, and motherfuckers like, man, this shit looked like it's gonna be the best game ever. I'm like, from the driving? Like, what are we talking about, dude? Did we see the same game? Like, it looks like the same shit. I don't really care about that Don Walker game. Magical Blush. Big Ambitions 1.0 launch. Onimusha Way of the Sword overview. Oh shit, man! September is almost here, man. I just paid rent, bro. Can't believe it. That shit was from 2024, 2025. The first footage was from 2023, but the latest was from 2025. I don't think the game is gonna change much from 2025. At that point, like, you're just polishing the game. Yeah, it's time for the Wallace to suffer. I don't think there's a lot of interesting trailers going on here, so we're just gonna look at these real quick. Looks like indie horror slop. You saw the Dawn of the Flood. Yeah, the vampire shit running at 60 FPS. I'm not playing that shit. I'm not gonna lie. You read the Tokon story from the Japanese sales? Nah. What's this? What is this? First week retail sales for Marvel Token in Japan were below 3,000 units. This is the worst launch for an Arc System fighter in Japan, excluding their super niche stuff like DNF Duel. Well below most of the Guilty Gear, Blaze Blue, and even Under the Night Birth. Very poor launch. In the defense of them, this is a game that was going to be bigger in the West regardless. I maybe I'm wrong, but is Marvel big in Japan? I'm not gonna lie. Like, why the fuck would I be worried about Marvel if I grew up watching Naruto and Dragon Ball and One Piece and shit like that? So like I'm not surprised it's not big. It'd be big in the West. No, DC is though. Yeah, DC is because there's that Batman Ninja, but like I don't think Marvel's that big in Japan, so this actually doesn't surprise me. He said, get ready to join 2XKO. Nah, Ethos. Remember on the podcast, you said 2XKO up next, best game ever, blah 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 blah. Come on, hey, I'm gonna buy you and Nomad a copy of Avatar so y'all can come see the light. Come hop on the Avatar side. I think Spider-Man is, but not Marvel. Yeah, that makes sense. Spider-Man is a global IP. That makes sense. But like, yeah, Marvel as a whole, I don't think it's big in Japan. Come join the Avatar side. This doesn't surprise me. What else I got? This is not interesting. Lego One Piece. Is this a game or an adaptation?
The Straw Hat Pirates assemble! Together we're going to find the One Piece and get to the grand...
Why? Wait a minute. Is this a Lego adaptation of the live action Netflix adaptation of One Piece? Is this an adaptation of an adaptation?
Fine! Let's speed it up and get to me. Who's that?
Yeah, you get this shit the fuck out of here. Just corporate greed, man. Just get this. That's gotta go. Like we don't need that story again. Oh, brother, this guy stinks. The Jimmy Olsen series is officially titled The People vs. Gorilla Grodd. This series follows Jimmy Olsen investigating if Gorilla Grodd was wrongly convicted for murdering his father, the king of Gorilla City. This is a DC show? The Daily Planet announced today it will begin production on an 8-part docuseries that will dive back into Metropolis' most infamous murder trial. The People vs. Gorilla Grodd will take a fresh 360 look at the case, revealing a lesser-seen side of the hyper-intelligent ape, according to the film's first-time director, Jimmy Olsen. Olsen was granted unprecedented exclusive access to interview Grodd inside Stryker's Island Penitentiary for the documentary. I'm lost. Gorilla Grodd has long claimed his innocence in the murder and brain consumption of his father, King Grodd, a crime he was convinced of. I don't know a lot about Gorilla Grodd, I'm not gonna lie. So like, is this a reason to be excited? He's convinced more to win. However, the series will take an in-depth look at the investigation, featuring brand new reporting from the members of the Daily Planet staff, as well as interviews with witnesses and experts of both Grodd's and Metropolis District Attorney side of the case. Speaking, have you watched the? Yeah, Lanterns is fire. I know he's a Flash villain, and I know he has like telekinesis. He's super fast, not fast, but super smart, and he can like read people's minds and shit. I think my first introduction to him was DC Universe Online, like back in like 2009. I know he was in the Flash TV show too, but like I don't know. He was in Injustice too. I'm not like a Gorilla Grodd fan. I don't like none of that monkey shit. I ain't gonna lie, shit. I don't like that. I don't like Planet of the Apes. I don't like none of that monkey shit. But I mean, I guess I keep an eye on it. I don't know if I have a reason to be excited though. A comedy law series would go crazy. I don't know if I have a reason to be excited about this. I would have to see a trailer to know. Damn Frieza type shit. Magical blush? The fuck? We're good off that. Onimusha. Let's see. Frieza slop.
Yasui Kompiragu Shrine, set to grant the binding and severing of fates to its pilgrims. With its sacred grounds twisted by malice, its visitors are now prey to the guile of a cunning Gemma that has taken root there.
Yo, can you believe DC Universe Online wait, DC Universe is still online? No, I can believe it. It was a good game. It's a good game. It's a good game. They gave you a lot of value for what you like. I only played DC Universe Online because I was a broke college student. It was the only game my laptop could run. And it ran at like 15, 20 frames, but like it was the only game it could halfway run decently. And I don't remember ever paying for anything in that game. I never bought a battle pass. I never bought the premium XP or coins or anything. And I probably had 100+ hours on that game. So no, I'm not surprised in terms of like, if you a broke ass motherfucker that need to get DC on, I seen a TikTok, where dude was like, y'all too good to eat Little Caesars? Y'all remember when you was down broke? You don't remember when Little Caesars, that guy was there for you? That's how I feel about DC Universe Online. Like, y'all too good to play DC Universe Online? That shit was there for me, bro. Like, when I was down bad, that and Perfect International, those two games what I played. That was me with Team Fortress 2. So you got a lot of value for it being free. Yeah.
Which do you want then? I wonder.
I'm excited for this game. Sword and Sandal gamers, rise up!
From its unsuspecting victims. I hope the Miyazaki is not led to the same fate.
DC Universe microtransactions are wild. I played it before there were microtransactions, so the game must be different. Because like I said, I played it back in 2009 when it first came out. I'm old. What power did you use? Do you remember? I think I had a super speed character. Looks good to me. I think I had a super speed character. DeMar DeRozan, is he saving the Nuggets chat? Nope. Wizards Nation. Let's get on the game. Did you play Gotham City's Imposters? No, but I always wanted to play it. I just never got around to it. I know everybody who did play it, they love that shit though. I believe I want to say it's an underrated game. Let's see. Steam. Fuck no, let's go OKC. Fuck OKC, bro. Warframe was there for me. Warframe was there for me for a couple years too. That was a good game. Then it just kind of got convoluted. You seen Cicada Matata? What the fuck is that? What is that, like a cicada Hakuna Matata? What the fuck, nigga? What'd you just type in my chat, nigga? I got 20 hours on this game. You think about what the fuck you just typed in my goddamn chat. That Hakuna Matata's some shit. I'm going to use the bathroom.